Wow. Hello, everyone. Is this where you want me?
Miss Lake, right here, please. I want to be the first one today, please.
I don't know. I always give Jordan the first. I always give Jordan the first one. What do you think, Jordan?
Let's go. Let's give George the first. Give me the second one.
Okay. George.
Ma'am.
You guys got to be really loud because I'm.
Yeah, it's a lot of noise, I know.
Unless I can come closer.
Yeah, that's pretty good. The question is, you over the weekend, you took the Google all over the world. Like, your name was ringing everywhere. And one of them, yes, ma'am, because I have the scale. And one of them has, most of them were asking, is she an election denier, Kari Lake? And that was like going around on all different cable news. What do you elaborate on this?
I'm actually shocked you asked that question, George.
Well,
actually, Anthony, where's Anthony?
Once in a while.
Come here, Anthony. You know, I did a little, actually, Anthony, how old are you?
20.
Are you a journalist?
No.
Well, you did better research than half these people. Let's talk about election deniers. Here's 150 examples of Democrats denying election results. Oh, wow, look at this. This is from Joe Biden's press secretary. Reminder, Brian Kemp stole the gubernatorial election from Georgians and Stacey Abrams. Democrats saying that. Is that an election denier? Oh, look at this. Just heard Republican Ryan Costello said it would be difficult for Stacey Abrams to win because she lost her state bid, but yet she's still claiming she never lost. This is outrageous. Hillary Clinton, Trump is an illegitimate president. Is she an election denier? This one says, was the 2016 election legitimate? It now definitely is a question worth asking. That's the Los Angeles Times. So it's okay for Democrats to question elections, but it's not okay for Republicans. It's a crock of BS. Every one of you knows it. We have our freedom of speech, and we're not going to relinquish it to a bunch of fake news propagandists. If you want a copy of these, I'm sure that Anthony would help you get a copy and help you learn how to be journalists, but look it up. It's been happening for a long time. Since 2000, people have questioned the legitimacy of our elections. And all we're asking is that in the future, we don't have that have to happen anymore. Okay. When I'm governor, we're going to make sure we have honest elections. We want the Democrats, the independents, and the Republicans to all know that their vote counted. We want fair, honest, and transparent elections, and we're going to deliver that for the people. But just remember, guys, this is one page after Hillary Clinton says George W. Bush was selected president, not elected. So let's start, if you're going to start throwing around terms like election denier, let's remember who the other election deniers were, Hillary Clinton and all the Democrats. Next question.
Kari, so all these fake news media outlets, they want to call you an election denier. They want to ask you about the 2020 election, but they refuse to ask Katie Hobbs about her history of racism. Now, I don't think that Arizona wants a racist governor. Why do you think it is that they refuse to cover Katie Hobbs' racism? Are they complicit or are they racist themselves?
I ask that question all the time because the news has been calling Republicans terrible names like racist for a long time. But now we actually have a candidate with a proven racist record. Twice convicted racist, Katie Hobbs. And you guys have maybe covered that once. I think I saw it once or twice.
Covered it more than a dozen times in the last year.
If it would have been Donald Trump, let me trust you, you would have covered that every single day. The tables are not level here. They're not covering Katie Hobbs' racism. They would be calling her a racist every day if she was a Republican. And the people deserve to know this. I go out and I ask voters all the time if they've even heard this story about Katie Hobbs being a twice convicted racist. She's a self-admitted racist. And people don't know it because the media hasn't covered it. I don't know if you covered last week that she held a mock slave auction back during high school during Spirit Week. Did any of you cover that? I don't see any.
I can't say for sure. I was gone 2 days. It's
okay.
Possible.
This is, let me tell you, if that was found in my yearbook, Joe, you would have covered that. You'd still be covering it. Katie Hobbs is a proven racist. When she was asked a simple softball question in a forum, name one good thing about the Latino community, she couldn't come up with anything. I don't believe Arizona will elect her. They don't want a racist in the governor's office, so I feel pretty confident we're going to win. Ma'am.
So I'm NTV News, sister of Epoch Times, if any of you know that print media. So
Epoch Times is one of the good ones out there.
okay,
Yes.
we appreciate that. So I have two questions. One is practical, one is ideological. The first one is you're talking about holding people accountable, holding the media accountable. I actually work in DC on Capitol Hill. A lot of the legislators are not held accountable. Down here at the state level, I'm sure the same situation is here. We've gotten to a cycle where we don't hold our elected officials accountable. You, if you were the governor, is there anything that you could do to make sure that the local elected officials are held accountable? How much weight do you think that should carry? What are your thoughts?
I think accountability is very important in government. It starts with transparency. And it apparently, we're in such a divided space right now that transparency only goes one way. I want transparency when it comes to our elections, when it comes to our government, and we will work to make sure we have a very transparent state government. I think we have a relatively transparent state government right now under Governor Doug Ducey, and we'll continue along those lines, and anywhere where we don't feel that we have that accountability and transparency, we'll work to improve that.
Okay, and then second ideological question. You all talked a lot about spirituality here tonight. It seems like this is one of your main messaging strategies. Not only is it a messaging strategy, but it's also the way our culture is rooted. I mean, the way our culture, is, it decides how the culture is spiritually, decides pretty much how people make their decisions politically. So I'm wondering, how much weight do you think the spiritual component carries in comparison to the practical issues like inflation, economy, crime, etc.?
I think it's really important. I think you want to elect people into office who have a moral compass, who know right from wrong. I think Ronald Reagan was a great example of that. He based decisions based on what's right and what's wrong. Do you want to answer anything on that, Jack?
No, I think you're right on. Whenever we're facing so many battles that Americans see, people want to have a moral ground and an understanding of right and wrong. And if you don't have leaders who are willing to, one, stand up for their spirituality, I think Americans want to know that their governor gets on her knees and prays. I think they want to see humble leadership in the governor's office. Why would you not? You want people that have really humanity, so that she wants to help everybody from the bottom to the top.
That's right.
Kari, on the 8th of November, will you respect the election result?
Yes, I will. Of course I will. If the elections are honest, fair, and transparent, of course I will.
Do you doubt that?
Mrs. Lake, as you know, the Attorney General's office, a special agent, issued a memo Friday. He said True the Vote is adamant it had evidence of ballot stuffing and voting fraud. Despite repeated requests, True the Vote never did provide the information it purported to have. Do you still believe 2,000 Mules has credibility?
I do.
Why?
I do believe that, and I heard snippets from an interview today that the information was given, so it's really a he said, she said, and I'd have to look more into it, but I still believe that 2,000 Mules was a credible movie. Next.
The Mexican government recently sued American gun stores, alleging that they are responsible for the country's gun violence and straw purchases. But in fact, as we all know, the ATF has been guilty of this in the past with Operation Fast and Furious under the Obama administration. Look, guess who is in that administration as well? Furthermore, it was recently reported that the Mexican military was giving weapons to the cartel. If any of these businesses even did anything illegal, especially under the current administration targeting Second Amendment rights, they'd be shut down instantly. What's your reaction to the Mexican government suing American businesses, including out here in MOAZ?
That's the first I'm hearing that. I'm about preserving the Second Amendment and Second Amendment rights for all Arizonans. We are a Second Amendment sanctuary state. We'll see where that goes in the courts, but what I'm going to do as governor is make sure that Arizonans have their Second Amendment rights intact, and any effort to stop or prevent Arizonans from their Second Amendment, I will stand in the way and try to protect them.
But do you think it's wrong that the Mexican government is falsely attacking American businesses? And what would you do?
I don't like the sound of it, but I'm going to be honest. What organization are you with?
I do independent journalism, CFSN Media.
I don't have the information in front of me. I don't like to just respond to things. You're giving me a little snippet of it, and I don't have all the details. I'd love to look into that more so I can make an educated response.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, Kari, tomorrow Tulsi Gabbard is coming to town to campaign with you. Wednesday, Glenn Youngkin is coming to town. Are these folks asking to campaign with you? Why do you think they're flocking to Arizona? And can you give us any preview of what to expect, what issues you'll be addressing?
I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to it. Tulsi Gabbard had just recently, as you all know, decided to step away from the Democrat Party. She's become an independent. She's probably the most famous independent in the country right now. And her team reached out to me and wanted to talk to me, and we invited them to come to town tomorrow. We're thrilled they're coming to town. Tulsi Gabbard is endorsing me, and I couldn't be more honored to have her endorsement. She is a veteran, she's a former congresswoman, and I think she's a real political force. She loves this country. And I wish she would become a Republican, but I'm happy to have her as an independent. We have a lot of independents supporting us. We're looking forward to her coming. And we're looking forward to Governor Youngkin. I think what it's showing is that the Republican Party is strong, it's solid, and it is together. And any, narrative that the media might push that we're, divided is just not true. We want Republican governors in every state. We know that red states, Republican-led states, are the most successful states where the citizens are most happy. And we're seeing the blue states fall to pieces, and we're seeing the blue states have citizens leave en masse and try to relocate to red states. So we're pushing for as many Republican governors to be elected, and I'm honored that they're both coming to endorse me and help me out.
Kari, what's your view on Rusty Bowers? And
I think we already had a question from you. Was there anybody who hasn't had a question?
Yeah. Hi. Hi.
Hi, who are you with?
I'm with the New Republic in DC. I just have a policy question for you. You talked about the importance of having fathers present in people's lives. I was wondering what you could do as governor on the state level specifically to sort of compel fathers or ensure that fathers remain present in their children's lives.
That's a great question, and I'm going to work with people like Jack because Jack has really studied this, and I want to actually bring him on and have him work with us as well. We want to make sure that even when it comes to benefits that go out to families, welfare benefits and such like that, are not encouraging families to break up, encouraging families to not be united. Anywhere we can encourage a family to be together, to remain together, working with making sure our children are in a family setting, if we can keep them in their family setting, is really important. And I think also just ensuring that we have great education and we have our children properly educated so that as they're moving forward in life, they have the opportunities. But we'll do whatever we can to ensure that. Yeah. You already had a question. Anybody else miss one? Jordan?
Hey, so
Jordan.
I just got a Katie Hobbs mailer in the mail. It said you want to defund law enforcement. Can you clarify?
She's desperate, let's face it. I think we all know she's desperate. If I wanted to defund law enforcement, I can guarantee you I wouldn't have the endorsement of all law enforcement. That's the most ridiculous thing. She's upset because her tax plan is absolutely ridiculous. My tax plan will actually help people and help them in Joe Biden's horrific economy. Our plan is to get rid of the grocery tax and to get rid of the rental tax to put $500 million back in the pockets of hardworking Arizonans. And she's trying to come up with this scare tactic. It's a bunch of BS, and she knows it. The police know that I have their back, and the last thing I want to do is defund the police. She is the type of person that wants to defund the police. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.